place in the rocks and wait for the day of rebirth. Inanna, thirsting for revenge, made her way to Enki's abode. She sought vengeance for the death of her beloved and demanded the death of the culprit, Marduk. Enki whispered softly, "There have already been enough deaths." Marduk provoked, but did not act upon it. Inanna, consumed by despair and a craving for justice, cried out to the heavens. Vengeance and justice should befall Marduk. In Enlil's dwelling, Inanna and Utu, her children, gathered in council to discuss the strategies for the impending war. Ninurta, who had previously defeated the rebellious Anzu, demanded more drastic actions. Utu revealed whispers of the secret words exchanged between Marduk and the Igigi. Enlil then agreed that Earth needed to be liberated. He stated that Marduk was like a malevolent serpent, representing a poison. In this manner, Enki received the demand for Marduk's surrender. Thus, amidst the mourning for Dimuzi, Enki summoned his children to defend Marduk, his firstborn and heir. Enki said, "I still mourn the departure of my beloved Dimuzi. However, I must defend the rights of Marduk." Despite the evil instigated by Marduk, Dimuzi did not die by his hands. And thus Enki declared that Marduk should be protected by all. Gibel and Ninagal answered their father's call, while Ningish Zida opposed and Nergal hesitated, promising aid only in the face of mortal danger. And so, a war of unparalleled ferocity erupted between the two clans. The battle was no longer between the descendants of the Earthlings, but between the Anunnaki, born on Nibiru, engaged in a conflict that extended beyond their original world. The war began when Inanna, the instigator of the war, crossed the domains of Enki's children in her spaceship, pursuing Marduk, who took refuge in the territories of Ninagal and Gibil. Ninurta, coming to his aid, unleashed devastating rays from the Stormbird, while Ishkur attacked with blazing lightning and crushing thunder. In the Abzu, the rivers were deprived of fish, and the cattle scattered across the fields. Marduk retreated to the north, to the artificial mountains. Relentlessly, Ninurta unleashed poisoned missiles upon the dwellings, and his devastating weapon deprived the people of those lands of their senses. The channels, once filled with river waters, turned blood red. As the terrifying battles spread to the north, Marduk hid in the Ekur. Gibel granted him an invisible shield, and Nergal raised the all-seeing eye to the sky. With a brilliant weapon, Inanna attacked the hidden place. Horus emerged in defense of his grandfather, and the brightness of Inanna's weapon damaged his right eye. Utu contained the Igigi and their horde of terrestrial beings beyond Tilman, at the foot of the artificial mountains. The Anunnaki from both clans clashed and started a great battle at the foot of the artificial mountains. Enlil sent words to Enki to seal the peace. "Let Marduk surrender. Let the bloodshed end." Ninhursag sent other words to Enki. "Let brother speak to brother," she said. In his hiding place within the Ikur, Marduk persisted and defied his pursuers. In the house that resembles a mountain, his final resistance was fought. Inanna failed to overcome the imposing stone structure, as its smooth sides deflected her weapons. But cunningly, Ninurta discovered a secret entrance, and then he rotated the stone located to the north of the Great Pyramid. Through a dark corridor, Ninurta advanced, reaching the immense gallery, its ceiling shining with the diverse colors of crystals, like a sparkling rainbow. But Marduk became aware of the invasion and awaited Ninurta with weapons in hand. Ninurta directed his weapons at the shimmering crystals and entered the gallery. Marduk retreated to the upper chamber, to the place of the great pulsating stone. At the entrance, Marduk closed the sliding stone locks, preventing anyone who dared to challenge him from entering. Inside the Ekur, Inanna and Ishkur also entered and followed Ninurta. Then Ninurta, Inanna and Ishkur discussed what could be done. "May the chamber where Marduk hides be his stone sepulchre." Ishkur pointed to the 3 stone blocks arranged to slide down. "The 3 obstructing stones are ready to slide," he said. "May death be slow. May he be buried alive, and may it be Marduk's verdict," said Inanna. Thus, each of them cleared one of the stones. The 3 obstructing stones were released to bury Marduk like in a tomb. Each of them slid a stone to obstruct. sealing Marduk like in a grave. And then the stones fell into a deep abyss, far from the sun and light, without food or water. Marduk lay in the Ekur. Sarpanit, his wife, mourned his imprisonment and punishment without trial. She sought Enki, her father-in-law, accompanied by her youngest son, Nabu. She said, Marduk's life must be restored. Enki asked Utu and Nanna to intercede with Inanna. So they brought Sarpanit's words for Marduk to live in penitential garments, to live humbly, and to renounce power. However, Inanna would not be appeased. She said, for the sake of honor, the instigator must succumb. Inanna retorted. Ninhursag, the peacemaker, gathered the brothers Enki and Enlil. She said, Marduk deserves punishment, but death is not justified, she asserted. Let Marduk be in exile, and let succession on earth be granted to Ninurta. Enlil was pleased with the words and smiled. Ninurta was his son with Ninhursag. As a father, what choice do I have between succession and life? With a heavy heart, Enki continued, in my lands, desolation spreads. The war must come to an end. I still weep for Dimuzi. So let Marduk live in exile. Enlil said, if peace is to reign and Marduk is to live, agreements and compromises must be made. And Enlil observed his advantage, intending to be the foremost among the brothers. He raised his voice and continued, all the facilities that connect heaven and earth must be entrusted solely to me. Dominion over the land of the two Narrows must be handed over to another son. The Ajiji who follow Marduk must be directed to relinquish the landing place and abandon their alliance and commitment to Marduk. Marduk must be led to a land of no return, where no descendant of Zeusudra resides. Thus, Marduk must depart into exile. Enki recognized the hand of fortune in his heart. So be it, he said, bowing his head. The name of Ningishzida was mentioned shortly thereafter in two ways. He was designated for the rescue of Marduk and also to be the lord of the lands of Ekur. It was said that Ningishzida, also known as Thoth, was knowledgeable of the secrets of Ekur. When the great Anunnaki announced their decrees, Ningishzida was called upon to perform the rescue. His challenge was to extract Marduk from the blocked depths, from the bowels of the Great Pyramid. Saving Marduk, buried alive, was a mission that exceeded his own conception. Ningishzida studied the hidden designs of Ekur and devised a plan to overcome the obstacles. Then he said, through a carved upper opening, Marduk will be liberated, and he revealed his plan to the leaders. Ningishzida spoke, in a location I will show you, we will open a door in the stones, and from there, we will trace a winding path, forging a rescue axis. Through the hidden recesses, we will enter the heart of Ekur. At the epicenter of the chambers, we will break through the rocks. Opening a door inward, we will bypass the blockades. Through the grand gallery we will proceed, raising the 3 stone barriers, and we will reach the highest chamber, the deadly prison of Marduk. Thus, the Anunnaki, guided by Ningishzida, pursued their meticulous plan. With tools that cleaved the rocks, they opened the entrance and shaped the rescue shaft. They penetrated into the interior of the ingenious mountain and created a passage. Circumventing the 3 stone barriers, they reached the highest chamber. On a narrow platform, they erected the iron gates and rescued the unconscious Marduk. With caution, through the winding shaft, they led Marduk to the fresh air. Outside, Sarpanit and Nabu, wife and son, awaited. And finally, an emotional reunion took place. Then, Enki conveyed the conditions of his release, but Marduk became enraged. Before his eyes, it was a colossal humiliation. Marduk said, I'd rather die than renounce my inheritance. Sarpanit drew Nabu close to her arms. We are part of your future, Sarpanit whispered. Marduk, enraged and humiliated, uttered, I surrender to my destiny, in a low voice. Sarpanit and Nabu then accompanied the desolate Marduk and thus embarked on an irreversible land. They arrived in a forbidden land where horned beasts are hunted. After Marduk's departure, Ninurta entered the Ekur once again through its entrance. He proceeded through the corridors towards a mysterious structure. There, on the eastern wall, a small artistic opening radiated a reddish glow. It was the crimson brilliance of the Stone of Destiny. Tormented, Ninurta exclaimed in anguish, "Its power captures me to kill me, subjugating me with a deadly attraction."